Hello everybody, I'm Randy Ross, candidate for Orlando City Council District 4, coming to you today from my front porch in beautiful downtown Orlando. And I'm actually joined by my friend Beverly Burgess.
Hello,
and so I'm usually the one asking the questions. Today I'm going to let Beverly ask me some questions.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to start out by saying congratulations on entering the race for District 4. And what I would like to ask you today is, what makes you different from the current commissioner in running for this seat?
Thank you. That's a great question. You know, when I first came to Orlando in 1994, I immediately started working with the mayor's office, getting engaged not only just with what was happening in this particular area of downtown, but I was also working with Title I students throughout Orange, Osceola, and Seminole County, specifically working in areas like Washington Shores, Rock Lake Elementary, trying to engage more people in the idea of fitness and wellness. That's 25 years or 23 years ago at this point. And now what I do in living downtown, I deal with issues like the brick streets and the water management and drainage issues that seem to take forever. I believe when you've been in office for a very long time, you become complacent. I also believe that we can't afford nearly 18% property tax increases without somehow communicating that in a way that makes it make sense to the people who live in the district.
Right.
So that's important to me, to make sure that we have a fresh face.
A fresh face, okay. Now the other question I'm going to pose to you, which is, okay, you said nearly 18%.
Nearly 18%, yes.
Why is that such an important issue right now with the current economy?
I think there's a few things that come to mind. First of all, we didn't raise taxes, obviously, for a number of years. Right. You know, and I don't think that the public is very well receptive of that. And the question is, why are we, let's be honest, we were $52 million in the hole.
That's huge.
And they had to raise property taxes to fix the shortfall. But it wasn't 2 weeks later that we dropped another 15 or so million to move the soccer stadium from one side of the street to the other. And the whole land acquisition process, that ended up costing us a lot of money. And everybody said yes. Everybody said yes to that property tax increase, including the current commissioner. And in my opinion, it wasn't necessary. There had to be a better way. We should not have gotten notification last minute that here's what's going to happen. Because if you're on a fixed income, or if you happen to be someone who rents property in this market,
right,
there's a lot of, and you don't have homestead, there's a lot of concerns that something like a nearly 18% property tax increase can create for you.
So what may not matter to other people, for those that are on a fixed income, can actually put a lot of property owners in a foreclosure situation.
It could not only do, maybe not necessarily to that extent, but let's think about it. I'm not just making that decision for District 4. As a commissioner, that decision was made for the folks that live in one of the poorest areas of town, which is Paramore. So District 5, District 6. Most people won't necessarily not be able to eat because of this, but there are people that decision did impact. And the way that the City Council suggested that to us as related to laying it out, trying to explain it to us, and that everybody on the City Council, including the mayor, supporting it, and then coming around and making a decision to help with the land acquisition process, as far as I'm concerned, it's robbing from the taxpayers of a city of Orlando.
So District 4, why is District 4 so crucial to Districts 5 and 6?
Every decision that a city council, I mean, obviously this is where I live in the area. You know, I knocked on over 1,000 doors to qualify by petition, being the only candidate in this race to qualify by petition. And as I'm out there walking in this district, I'm hearing things like about the red brick streets being a concern. The contracts, for example, for the Richmond Street Improvement Project that took so long. The boneyard literally sitting right down here in Lake Cherokee now, probably for another 2 years, and it's already been there for 2 years. Those are issues that are important to this district. However, the nice part about having worked with the city since 1994 on various projects is I'm very familiar with what's happening over in District 5, for example, which butts up against ours, and watching the soccer stadium process, handling and listening to the issues regarding crime, in that area as well as all areas of the city of Orlando. And those are concerns that matter to me. I have to be able to make those decisions and can hit the ground running in January to say that if something comes up, that I understand the nuance that is the city of Orlando. We're a bedroom community in District 4. We're very fortunate. Right. You're not going to see major buildings being built. You will see new housing going up, but it has to be, you know, to somewhat we have to control that growth.
Right.
So the city beautiful remains beautiful.
So in District 4, which is a bedroom community because you have first, second, and third generations, even fourth generations. But in District 4 particularly, you have people that are retired here. You have a lot of seniors and a lot of veterans. Have you seen from the current incumbent incumbent commissioner, have you seen a lot done for seniors and veterans and those that are disabled?
Absolutely not. You know, it wasn't long ago that I went to my very first Homeowners Association meeting, which I'm currently the vice president for the Homeowners Association of Lake Davis Greenwood. And I remember there was a lady that was killed not far from here. I remember raising my hand and asking, what can we do? And the answer was create your own crime watch. And I did that.
Wow.
But that really isn't an answer to crime in this community. You know, we have to be able to work with the Orlando Police Department, which I know that I've done that before, in the creation of things like Walk a Mile in Her Shoes for Harbor House, and working with elected officials and being able to have that conversation in an intelligent way so that we can look at a problem and be able to fix the problem versus just saying, call me or email me. Call my office and we'll arrange a meeting. Email me. Listen, I believe in social media as an excellent resource for communicating with constituents. I think it's 2015. We need to do a better job with that versus coming online and saying something to the effect of, email me, I can't talk about that on. Listen, Florida records laws do not prevent social media interaction. You just have to be good about how you do it.
Okay. So with that being said, and everything that's happening with District 4, 5, and 6, because 4 does sit very close to District 5, and everything that's going on in every single community, a particular concern is, you know, the current commissioner has been there for 16 years. Do you really see the need for term limits?
Absolutely. I can tell you, as a person running for this office, I am saying openly that I would never want more than 2 terms.
Okay.
I would advocate for term limits. I think it's absolutely crazy to think that anybody would potentially be in a city council seat for 20 years. There's so many different things you can do. Okay. You know, run for state house, become a lobbyist, go back into the private sector, do your work and get out, and let somebody else come in with new ideas and fresh concepts to be able to, you know, facilitate the betterment of the city of Orlando.
And right now with District 4 being, I believe there's 3 candidates in this race.
That's correct.
So with 3 candidates in the race, which we've never seen before, do you believe the current city commissioner has a real challenge on her hands? Because keep in mind now, that's never been done before. She's been there 16 years. Here's
the reality. This particular election was moved backwards, meaning that it was scheduled to be in April of 2016.
Okay.
The mayor, because he didn't want that to conflict with the Republican primary process, moved it into November of 2015. Which meant that anybody who was thinking about running for any of the available seats, including the mayor's race, would have had to have gotten in. Ooh, we had a little challenge there. That's okay. Would have gotten in, and if they wanted to qualify by petition versus writing a check, it was going to be very difficult. So I knew getting into this race that I needed to qualify by petition, and I was able to get 1,037 petitions and qualify the way that. And let's be honest, where that number came from. I knocked on over 5,000 doors of people who previously voted in the previous election, which means that 20% of the people that voted signed my petition. To me, that's a substantial message to the current commissioner that they might be ready for someone new.
So right now in District 4, I sense there's a real huge need for change, because by you getting out there, you engage with the community, you knocked on doors, you talked to people in a very short window of time that you had to work with.
Right.
Do you feel that running for the seat, you have the human touch?
I'd like to think that I will continue front porch conversations just like you and I are having right now. I grew up in a time when sitting on the front porch and having conversations with family was important, and when people would walk by, you would engage with them
and wave at them, and
wave
talk
at
to
them.
them.
And, you know, I'd love to be able to bring some of that back, because we have that downtown. A lot of front porches in downtown Orlando. You know, you go into certain places in Orlando, and I would use Paramore as an example, they're still talking on the front porch.
Every day.
You know, over here, you rarely see that interaction. And as a commissioner, while it may not seem like a top priority, it's important to be back out there having those conversations with people so you really know what's important to them.
That is, you know, I applaud you for running for this seat. I know this is probably going to be a close race. And with that being said, do you think there will be a runoff?
I'd like to think there won't be a runoff. You need 50 plus 1 to win. But when you're running against someone with a 16-year history, with a high name recognition and such, that will be tough. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely.
Well, I really think it's possible. I really think it's possible because you're bringing in fresh ideas. Keep in mind, you're in a bedroom community. there have been families established here for 3 or more generations. So I really think it's possible.
Well, I appreciate, Beverly, you coming over. You know, one of the messages that I'm hoping to send is that in this position, you have to be able to work with people in all districts.
Right.
You can't just decide that the only district you represent is the one that you're sitting in, because every decision that we made, whether it's funding for the Dr. Phil's Performing Arts Center, the soccer stadium, all of these different things, this particular commissioner still has to, Lake Nona, you name it, whatever's happening, this commissioner will still be making decisions that benefit the people of District 4, but in other places throughout the city of Orlando. And you have to have that knowledge to do that. And I believe I not only have that knowledge, I'm prepared to hit the ground running.
And you have that experience.
I have that experience.
Well,
Thank you.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure talking to you. I wish you well.
Well, we have
nothing fall over.
It's windy.
And it's been a delight to talk to you, Randy Ross, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Beverly.
Thank you.
I appreciate your support.